Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the channel. Happy Saturday, everybody. I hope your day and your weekend are going very well so far. Got a new day, which of course means a new NBA player prop video to share with you guys. But first, as always, people, please make sure to go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit that like button, and drop a comment down below. It helps the channel grow, and it really does mean a ton to us. With a new day comes some new opportunities to go ahead and make some money. I have 4 solid picks in tonight's NBA slate. But first, before we dive into today's picks, a quick little recap of how we did last night. Yesterday, of course, was our Freaky Friday 5-leg parlay plus 730 odds, and unfortunately, we did not hit. 3 out of 5 legs did hit. Jalen Johnson over 17.5 points was a flat-out miss. Horrible performance by him last night. And Tyrese Halliburton over 9.5 assists. He finished with 8, so he was close. A lot of people didn't like that prop for good reason. I took a swing on it. We did miss. It was a narrow miss, but a miss nonetheless. But however, Tatum, Sabonis, and Sexton did hit. So if you did use a couple of those picks and put them in your own parlay, you might have been successful, but overall, we did miss last night. We are now 5-10 on parlays thus far this season, and we are up 1.31 units on those parlays. So although the record may not look great, we are up on the unit standpoint, not too shabby. I think we can definitely do better tonight. But first, one more thing before we dive into today's picks, we have a new member of the no bet list. That's right, guys. Welcome to the list, Jalen Johnson. We now have 3 members on our no bet list thus far this season. We have Quinn Capella, Josh Giddey, and now Jalen Johnson. And look, you don't get added to the no bet list because you had a bad day. We bet on Jalen Johnson multiple times this year, and I've failed multiple times this year. I just can't trust him anymore. How do you play the Los Angeles Lakers? The game goes to overtime. Your team scores over 130 points, and you finish with just 10. And he played over 35 minutes. It was crazy to me. Jalen Johnson, a massive disappointment. He sold big time. I know Halliburton sold, and Halliburton is this close to being added to this list as well. But Jalen Johnson, he has to be on there. We now have 2 Atlanta Hawks on this list. I don't think that's much of a coincidence. But yeah, sorry, Jalen Johnson. We won't be picking you anymore this year. And we're going to give you Gladiator style, the thumbs down. Shout out Gladiator, great movie. I did see Gladiator 2 just a couple weeks ago. Was kind of disappointed. It was kind of mid, although Denzel was pretty sick in that movie. All right, guys, 4 NBA picks coming your way. Let's not waste any more time. Let's dive right into today's picks. Jumping right into the outlier screen, guys, our first of 4 picks in today's slate. These are all single bets, by the way. This is not a parlay. We're taking a little break after doing parlays literally every day for the past week. We're now just doing single bets here in today's video. We have Wizards Nuggets, 7 p.m. tip-off. I'm going Nikola Jokic of the Denver Nuggets over 52.5 points plus rebounds plus assists. Pretty good value. We're getting this from -105 on DraftKings. It is available on almost every sports book for varying odd. And the data is really solid. You see 8 of his last 10 games, Jokic has cashed the over, averaging 54.7 points plus rebounds plus assists per game over his last 10 games. Even if you go ahead and stretch out to the last 20 games, you see 14 out of 20 games, a 70% hit rate for Jokic, averaging 53.35 points plus rebounds plus assists per game. So far this NBA season, Jokic has played 17 games. He's cashed the over. In 12 out of 17 games, it's a 71% hit rate, averaging 53.76 points plus rebounds plus assists per game. So whatever way you want to shake it, the data looks really solid here for Jokic, and the head-to-head data is also pretty solid. Now, he has not played Washington yet this year. This is the first meeting. Both of these games in the data is from last year, but he did cash it. Both times he played the Wizards, a 100% hit rate, averaging 58.5 points plus rebounds plus assists per game. Now, for any other NBA player, this line would be egregious to go ahead and bet because it's so high, but for Jokic, it's just another day in the office. And the matchup is really sweet. The Wizards are bottom 10 in every key category here: points allowed, rebounds allowed, and assists allowed. Versus centers in particular, they are the worst team, giving up the most points to opposing centers, 30th in the league, 25th in rebounds, only 5th in assists, but those points and rebounds numbers are really bad. Now, the only thing that concerns me here is obviously the fact that the Nuggets are playing the Wizards. Very big blowout potential. Look at Washington, a lot of injuries. This Wizards team wasn't good to begin with, but they lost everything. No Sadiq Bey, no Brogdon, no Jordan, no Kisper, no Kuzma, no Vukcevic. They're missing a lot of guys, so they're really banged up. Now, the only reason why I still like this spot is that for the Nuggets, you see a lot of guys are game time decisions. This could be a spot where the Nuggets rest a couple guys. Aaron Gordon, game time decision. Jamal Murray, game time decision. Couple guys who are kind of, might not play. I think Jokic is the one kind of constant here. And even in blowouts, he tends to play quite a bit. Look at this last game. I mean, last year they beat the Wizards by 20. He still played enough to get that triple-double, 21 points, 19 rebounds, and 15 assists. Jokic isn't like any other NBA star. He just doesn't do the load management thing. If he's on the court, he's going to play. You look at the usage rate for him so far this year, he's averaging 37.6 29.7 minutes. The least amount of minutes he's played this year is 29.7 minutes. The Nuggets, it was in a blowout win over the Jazz. He still played almost 30 minutes. And granted, he did miss the mark in that game, but he literally missed it by 1. So he still got to 52 points, rebounds, and assists, playing less than 30 minutes, just about 30 minutes. Even in these blowout spots, he still plays. And especially if the Nuggets are missing some guys tonight, he's going to have to play. So I like Jokic here. He always plays hard. Even if he only plays 25 to 30 minutes, you know he's going to go ahead and put up big stats here. So I like Jokic here on the over. All right, guys, our second pick in today's slate, we're moving on to the Mavericks-Raptors game, 7:30 p.m. tip-off. We're going Klay Thompson of the Dallas Mavericks here, over 12.5 points plus assists. There is some juice on this line. It's minus 140 on DraftKings. This is available on multiple sports books for varying odds. Minus 125 on Bet365, minus 130 on BetMGM. But again, it all depends on what sports books are available to you. DraftKings, I know, is available in most states. They are minus 140. So a little bit of juice on this line. Klay Thompson has cashed this over in 6 of his last 10 games, a 60% hit rate, averaging 13.2 points plus assists per game. So far this year for Klay Thompson, not having a bad year. He's cooled off a little bit over the last 10 games or so, but overall, having a solid first year at the Mavericks. 14 out of 19 games, he's cashed the over. It's a 74% hit rate, averaging 14.53 points plus assists per game. And we have seen his minutes taper off a little bit here. He had a really strong start to the year. He was playing like almost 30 minutes a game. You know, if he wasn't playing 30, he was playing over 25. You look at the first 10 plus games of the year, only one time had he played less than 25 minutes. Now, over the last 7 games or so, you're starting to see his numbers dip significantly. Some of that has to do with the schedule. The Mavericks have had a really tough schedule. You look at this stretch here, the Thunder, then the Pelicans, not really a tough one there, but the Nuggets, then the Heat, then the Grizzlies, and now you get the Wizards their last game. So a little bit of a tougher stretch of the schedule there for the Mavericks. And you saw his numbers drop a little bit, but overall he's still shooting the ball pretty well. Now again, the volume of shots he's taking is not nearly as high as it was early in the year, but this is a spot where I could see Klay Thompson getting a lot of extra minutes here, playing a Raptors team that's not particularly great. Overall, the Raptors are 25th in points allowed, 17th in assists allowed. If you push it versus shooting guards here, they are 22nd in points allowed and 12th in assists allowed. So a pretty solid matchup. And if we look at the last 2 times he played Toronto, now take into consideration this is last year, and this is also with the Golden State Warriors still. He did cash the over both times he played them. And look at the minutes played here, average of 29 minutes per game. So it's not like he was playing a crazy amount of minutes. As long as he plays somewhere in that range of 25 minutes, I feel pretty confident that he should be able to go ahead and cash this bet. Looking at the injury side of things here, Jaden Hardy not playing could also be a big boost for his minutes. But the Raptors are not a great team, and they have a lot of injuries as well. And we do get this little nugget from Outlier. Klay Thompson has exceeded 12.5 points and assists in 17 of his last 18 games versus bottom 10 defenses for points allowed, averaging 21.1 points plus assists per game average, a 94% hit rate. Now, this obviously goes back to his time with the Golden State Warriors as well, but just looking at this year, and we do have a good, healthy amount of games in this sample range. You see here so far with the Dallas Mavericks, let's see, it starts right here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He's played 8 games in that data range of that playing at bottom 10 defense in terms of scoring. He's cashed the over in 7 out of those 8 games. So some pretty good numbers there. He did cash his last time out as well versus the Washington Wizards. So I like the data spot here for Klay Thompson. It's a little bit juiced, but I like the spot. We've got 2 picks still to go, guys. We just hit the 8-minute mark in today's video. So if you are still watching, please comment 8 down below. As always, guys, we appreciate those who watched through all the videos. We had a fun week this week with the ladder challenge and Freaky Friday and a lot of parlays this week, guys. Appreciate all the support. So go ahead and drop 8 down below if you are still watching at this point in today's video. All right, guys, our third pick in today's slate. We're moving on to the Pistons-Knicks game, 7:30 p.m. tip-off. We got Mikal Bridges of the New York Knicks over 6.5 rebounds plus assists. Again, a little bit of juice on this line, minus 142 on FanDuel, but it's juiced for a reason here. You see he's cashed the over in 6 of his last 10 games, a 60% hit rate, averaging exactly 6.5 rebounds plus assists per game. Thus far in 2024, a 64% hit rate for Bridges, 14 out of 22 games. He's cashed the over, averaging 7.05 rebounds plus assists per game. So some pretty solid numbers there for Bridges overall this year. The head-to-head data is also pretty solid. 4 of his last 5 meetings with the Pistons, he has cashed the over. It's an 80% hit rate, averaging 8.6 rebounds plus assists per game. He's played them once so far this year as a member of the New York Knicks back on November 1st. He had 7 rebounds and 3 assists in that game. Now, overall, the Pistons are top 10 in both rebounds and assists allowed. They're actually playing pretty impressive. I've been impressed with the Pistons this year. The decision to fire Monty Williams has definitely paid off. Versus small forwards, though, the Pistons, not bad. 14th in rebounds allowed, 15th in assists allowed. So about middle of the road there. But Bridges does play a little bit of power forward here and there, not too much, but a little bit of power forward. They give up 18th, they're 18th in rebounds and 20th, and it's allowed two opposing power forwards. Him and Anunoby both kind of play the 3 and the 4 position. Anunoby plays more of the 4, but Bridges sometimes clocks the minutes at the 4. Overall, it's not a bad matchup, not a great matchup either. The numbers could be a little bit better, but he did cash it once already this year. He's cashed it in 4 of his last 5. I think it's a pretty good spot here, and it's juiced for a reason. In our 4th and final pick in today's slate, guys, we have Grizzlies Celtics 8 p.m. tip-off. We're going Porzingis here over 19.5 points plus assists. The Celtics are playing on the second night of a back-to-back. However, Porzingis did not play last night against the Milwaukee Bucks. They rested him up for this game. And Porzingis, he's only played 4 games this year. They're definitely playing a little cautious with him, but he has been really solid in his 4 appearances. He's got a 75% hit rate so far this year on this over 3 out of 4 games, averaging 22.75 points plus assists per game. Only once this year versus the Clippers on his first game of the season did he fail to cash the over, and he just barely missed it too. So pretty good numbers. The head-to-head matchup here versus Memphis. Of course, these are both back to last season, but each of his last 2 meetings with the Grizzlies, he cashed the over pretty convincingly, averaging 27.5 points plus assists per game. So look at the minutes played so far this year for Porzingis. Even though they've been kind of cautious with him, he is playing a healthy amount of minutes, averaging 27 minutes per game across his 4 appearances. The last time we saw him was a couple days ago on December 4th. He had 29.4 minutes played there. So overall, not too bad. He's not a stranger to hitting this line either. A 61% hit rate last year, 39 out of 64 games last season. He cashed this over, averaging 21.16 points plus assists per game. So pretty good data across the board for Porzingis. The value is there. It's minus 130 on DraftKings. It is available on other sports books for better odds, minus 120 on BetMGM if you have it. But overall, not too shabby. Versus power forwards, the Grizzlies are 19th in points allowed, 17th in assists allowed. Versus centers, they are 5th and 4th. So they're actually not a terrible defensive team, but again, the head-to-head matchup looks to be pretty solid. As someone who lost the ladder challenge the other day betting on the Grizzlies, I can say this team's very inconsistent. The Celtics, when they have Porzingis, they're just a different team altogether. I think the Celtics, and he is a game-time decision, so we will throw that out there. He is a game-time decision. I'm going to go ahead and proceed as if he's going to play. If he doesn't play, it gets voided. It's not a big deal, but I do think that Porzingis, if he does play, he should go ahead and cash this line. So there you have it, guys. Those are all 4 picks in today's NBA slate. As always, guys, thank you very much for watching. Make sure to go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit that like button, and drop a comment down below. We have a ton of great content here. Just a little comment about the content. The NFL Oracle, which is a show I usually do on Thursdays. We had a little bit of a rough week this week with work and everything. It will be coming out. It's coming out, but it probably won't be out until early tomorrow morning, maybe late tonight, just to let you guys know if you guys are looking for it. We also have my Sunday Night Football picks video coming out either tonight or tomorrow at some point. So we do have some more football content coming from me throughout the rest of the weekend. However, this is my last NBA video until Monday. I usually don't do videos on Sunday. So, guys, thank you very much as always for watching. I'll be back on Monday with another NBA player prop video. But until then, I hope you're all winners. Enjoy your weekend, guys. Let's go ahead and finish the week off strong.